All right, today we're going to unravel the story of one of the world's most luxurious fabrics, but I promise you, its history is anything but delicate. So, when you think of silk, what comes to mind? I'm guessing words like these, right? Soft, shimmery, delicate. It feels smooth, it looks completely royal, and it just seems incredibly fragile. But that's really only half the story. But what if I told you that whole image of delicacy is, well, it's misleading? Let's say you took a rope of silk and an equally thick wire of steel. Which one do you think is stronger? You might be surprised to hear it's the silk. Yeah, no kidding. In fact, it is the strongest natural fiber known to man. So, that's the big question we're digging into today. How can this beautiful, shimmery fabric possess such incredible strength? Well, to find out, we have to go back. Way back. Nearly 5,000 years, to be exact. You see, our story doesn't start in some high-tech lab or a factory. Nope. It begins with a legend, an empress, and what you might call a very, very fortunate accident. According to ancient Chinese legend, the Empress Si-Ling Shi, who was the wife of Emperor Huang Ti, was just sipping tea under a mulberry tree when, plop, a silkworm cocoon falls from a branch right into her hot tea. And as that little cocoon sat there in the hot water, it started to loosen up and unravel into this single, amazingly shiny thread. The Empress was just fascinated. Her curiosity led her right to the mulberry tree, and there she found the source, the Bombyx mori silkworm. And that's when the light bulb went off. What if this incredible thread could be woven into fabric? So the Empress has this brilliant idea. But turning a single tiny thread into a whole wardrobe, that required developing a really complex and meticulous process that we now know as sericulture. It all starts with the larva. After hatching, these little worms have one job and one job only: eat mulberry leaves. And for a whole month, that's all they do. And get this, in that short time, their body weight increases by a staggering 10,000 times. That incredible growth is what fuels the entire next stage. So here's how that whole journey from worm to wardrobe happens. First, the larva secretes a liquid silk, spinning its cocoon from a single, continuous thread. To harvest it, the cocoons are boiled. Now this kills the pupa inside, but it's crucial for loosening the thread. Then comes the really delicate part. Workers have to reel threads from up to 50 cocoons together to form one thicker thread, and that's the single thread that's finally woven into the shimmering cloth we know as silk. Now, once China totally perfected this process, they realized they were sitting on something incredibly valuable. And you can bet they were not about to share it with anyone. I mean, just think about this. For an astonishing 2.5 millennia, that's 2,500 years, China held a complete monopoly on silk. The production method was one of the most closely guarded state secrets in history. And for centuries, the fabric itself was reserved only for royalty. As you could imagine, the demand outside of China went through the roof. Silk was so sought after that people from all around the world were willing to trade it for its literal weight in gold and silver. It became one of the most powerful drivers of global trade in the ancient world. But of course, a secret that valuable, well, it can't be kept forever, can it? And sure enough, eventually, the knowledge of silviculture started to slip right through China's grasp. The secret began to unravel, but it happened slowly. It started with some Chinese immigrants in Korea around 300 AD. From there, the knowledge trickled out to Japan, India, and Persia. And by the 13th century, the whole center of high-quality silk production had actually shifted all the way over to Europe. So China pretty much owned the silk game in antiquity. Then, during the Middle Ages, Italy became the leading producer in Europe. But in a really fascinating historical twist, China has now reclaimed its status as the world's #1 silk producer in our modern era. The story has really come full circle. So let's just recap the most amazing takeaways here. We kicked this whole thing off with the fact that silk is stronger than steel. But what's also fascinating is its biomedical use. Silk can be used to dress wounds because, and get this, it can actually dissolve and be absorbed safely right into the body. It's so much more than a luxury item. It's a total marvel of natural engineering. So, from a chance discovery in a teacup to a global commodity that literally shaped history, that's the story of silk. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other everyday materials have a story this extraordinary, just waiting to be told?